Today's episode of Voiced is from r/TIFU and is about a user who accidentally challenged a US congressman to a fight, another who let their son take an unusual item for show and tell, and someone who brought up a sensitive family topic at Christmas dinner. Which one of these users do you think had the most awkward situation? Subscribe if you enjoy. I messed up by angering a sitting United States congressman on Facebook to the extent that he challenged me to fight him when he comes to my state, Alaska, next year. I accepted before giving it any thought. This all started earlier tonight when I replied to one of his posts, calling him out for frequently lying, as so many politicians are wont to do, and finishing it off by calling him a traitor. We then had a brief back and forth, and he laid down the challenge. He wants us to go at it either in a boxing ring or in a martial arts training hall. I told him to message me before he gets here so we can actually make this happen. I'm not sure if I'm in over my head or not, but I'm not about to back down. I have a surface-level amount of training from my time in the infantry and in law enforcement, but he has a similar background. While I highly doubt he will follow through, I better start legitimately training just in case. Never in a million years did I think he'd respond, let alone challenge me to an actual fight as if we're in the 1800s. But here we are. I can provide redacted information in the comments for proof if moderators allow it, or I can provide them with details if they want to verify. I angered a sitting United States congressman enough that he challenged me to fight him, and I accepted. Well, this blew up. Just woke up. I will read through all comments as time allows today and reply where I can. I just posted a couple of redacted screenshots in the comments. As usual, the congressman is Clay Higgins. Do your thing. Maybe we can find a way to use this to raise money for charity, even if he backs down. Public relations folks, message me. Here's a quick update. I have had a couple of public relations folks reach out to me, and we will see where all of this goes. Realistically, I suspect Clay will continue to ignore all this, but I will train anyway, as it'll be fun and good for me. For those who are wondering, I was a Republican until around 2012, when I shifted left of center a bit and became an independent. I joined the Democratic Party in 2020. I hope someday the GOP shifts back toward moderate, but I won't hold my breath. We really need more Adam Kinzingers in that party. Anyway, it's going to take days to read through these comments and reply to some, so bear with me. Thanks for the support. Wow, talk about a heated exchange. Who would have thought that a simple Facebook comment could escalate into a real-life showdown? But let's shift gears from political sparring to something a bit more domestic. Imagine this. You're going about your day, thinking everything is normal, and then suddenly, you find yourself in the middle of a situation that's as unexpected as it is hilarious. I messed up by letting my son take my wife's menstrual cup for show and tell. My wife is working out of town for a couple weeks. Sometime over the weekend, I noticed my son playing with this little silicone cup that kind of looked like a tulip. I asked him what it was and what it did, and he proceeded to show me its versatility. Over the next few days, it helped the Paw Patrol save the town. It was a treasure chest holding tiny pebbles guarded by pirates, a force field protecting a spaceship. It came with us to the park, grocery shopping, and even out to dinner one night. I loved that it had its own little satchel and assumed it just went to a playset. Fast forward to this morning, and as we're getting ready for school, Alexa reminds us that it's show and tell today at school. So my son grabs his little silicone cup and off to school he goes. I pick him up after school and his teacher asks to speak with me. My son looks happy, so I figure he's not in trouble, or if he is in trouble, he did something cheeky that he's proud of. Our conversation. Ben's show and tell was interesting. Pal, yes, it's cool, right? We've been playing with that thing for days. Yes, it's cool, right? Mr. Scott, do you know what that is? I start to panic. Oh, no, it's not a toy. That is a menstrual cup. I get confused. Teacher notes my confusion. It's used to collect menstrual blood. I'm still confused. It goes inside and collects blood. It just stays in there? She nods. Are you sure? I don't think that would fit too comfortably there. Oh, it folds in half and then springs open inside. We're both clearly uncomfortable. All right then. So where do I get a replacement? Because my wife will probably not be too pleased when she returns home and will not want to continue using this one. My wife laughed hysterically when we told her. My son is none the wiser and is having a tea party with the cup right now. My son and I played with an object we found all weekend. Then he took it for show and tell. Wow, I cannot believe this got so much attention. I'm glad everyone got a good laugh. My wife has been reading the comments and insisted that I clarify that I know all about her cycle. We are trying to conceive currently, and just as it was with our son, I know when she's ovulating. I track her cycle with her, and, with our son at least, sometimes help give her the hormone shots. I grew up with 4 sisters, and the only devices I was aware of for periods were to absorb the blood, not collect it. I was also confused by it fitting, because, like I said, this device helped save a chickaletta over the weekend. I've seen a tampon. They're much slimmer than this cup is. My wife assures me it fits just fine, and she doesn't even feel its presence after it's in position. I'd like to try to share a picture of the cup in the back of a tractor with a chicken riding in it, but I'm waiting for my wife's approval. Wow, talk about a weekend of unexpected discoveries. Who would have thought a simple silicone cup could lead to such an eye-opening conversation? Now, let's switch gears completely. Imagine sitting down at a family dinner, ready for some holiday cheer, and then suddenly finding yourself in the middle of a heated debate. Our next story takes us into the heart of a family drama that unfolds over Christmas dinner. AITA for bringing up my brother's premature birth at Christmas dinner to get my parents to shut up. I am a nurse practitioner, and I am the primary care provider for a lot of the low-risk maternity cases at the practice where I work. I also work hand-in-hand with the doctors and midwives to create a healthy maternity, birth, and postpartum situation. My fiancée is completing her residency. We live together and have for a few years now. We aren't in any hurry to get married. We originally had plans to do so a couple of years ago, but then we got really busy for 2 years. It is driving my very religious parents crazy that their youngest son is living together without being married. I don't really care. I'm an adult, and I do what I want. We are getting married in June, so we are visiting my parents for Christmas. The way it came together this year, everyone is at my parents' house. That's my folks, my 3 siblings, myself and fiancé, and 7 grandchildren, so 17 people. At dinner, my mom starts going on about how she is so glad that we are finally getting married and she won't be embarrassed at church anymore. And my dad says how proud he is of his 3 older kids who all either waited to get married before moving in together or got married right away after moving in together. My fiancé was getting embarrassed, and I was getting mad over this stupid argument we have had too many times. A family dinner was the last straw. I have asked them repeatedly to just accept that they cannot control how I live my life. I refuse to stay with them when I visit, even if I come alone. Hotel's just easier. So I started talking about a premature baby I had been reading about. It was almost 3 months premature and weighed about 1.6 pounds. It was super strong and healthy for being born so small, and the neonatal intensive care unit had high hopes for the baby doing well. My mom and dad both got deer in the headlights looks on their faces. Too bad. They should not have messed around with my fiancé's feelings. So I asked about my oldest brother. He was born almost 4 months premature. Is there a chance that we could check out the family album where we keep all the records of family births and stuff? I already knew my brother was over 9 pounds and almost 23 inches long when he was born. My grandmother told me all about it the first time my parents tried to shame me. The subject gets changed very fast. After supper, my parents told me that I should not try to embarrass them with private things that are not my concern. I told them that if I heard anything about my living arrangements ever again for the rest of my life, I would make sure to keep bringing up the fact that my mom was in her 2nd trimester when they got married. My parents are upset with me for telling them how to behave in their own home. However, my fiancé is pleased that they seem to be off the subject for good. Before I talk about today's posts, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Today, we have some wild stories from Reddit. First up, someone managed to anger a sitting US congressman on Facebook to the point where he challenged them to a fight. The user accepted without much thought, and now they're preparing for a potential showdown. I mean, who would have thought a political argument could escalate to an actual challenge? It's like something out of an old Western movie. Next, we have a dad who accidentally let his son take his wife's menstrual cup for show and tell at school. The teacher had quite the surprise when she realized what it was. I can only imagine the look on her face. It's hilarious, but also a bit cringeworthy. Lastly, a nurse practitioner brought up their brother's premature birth during Christmas dinner to shut down their parents' comments about living in sin with his fiancée. Talk about a dramatic family dinner. I'm sure that was quite the conversation stopper. Now, let me know what you think about these stories in the comments below. Which one surprised you the most? And if you were in any of these situations, how would you have handled it differently? Let's get the discussion going. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss out on our next video. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Voiced. If you enjoyed daily high-quality stories, please like and subscribe to show your support.